this
Yes,
morning?
I am.
Okay.
I am very much ready. Good morning,
Good
all.
morning.
Good
Okay.
morning, Professor Lucas, for the wonderful work you're doing.
Okay, hold on a second. We were not able to change this your slides here, but we're very sorry. It's supposed to be March version, but we are going to change it as soon as possible. So, meanwhile, while we are waiting for that to be changed, we can move on by welcoming our guest of honor, Dr. Raphael James, the Director and General of CRIM in Lagos. So please bear with me as I introduce him shortly.
This is part of the Center for Research, Information and Media Development Library and Museum. We have been running since 2004 and this is 2024, so exactly 20 years. So in the last 20 years, we have been able to accumulate a whole lot of Nigerian historical artifacts and books, newspapers, magazines. For example, we have over 90% of all magazines that have been published in Nigeria from 1980 to date. We have newspapers dating back to the 1920s and 1930s and 40s. We have series of African literatures dating back to 1940, quite a whole lot of items that we have in the library. Then in the museum, we are the pioneer private history museum, having the highest collection of Nigerian bottles than any other museum in Nigeria. Our oldest bottles date back to the 1950s. We have series of Coca-Colas and Pepsis, 7-Ups and the rest. We even have the old crates. We are the only museum in Nigeria presently that have a collection of all Nigerian postage stamps from 1960 to date, not single one missing. We have most of Nigerian music in LPs, SPs, and MPs. We happen to also be the only Nigerian museum that have quite a lot of collection of Nigerian currencies. Our oldest coin is 1910. We have banknotes produced every single year from 1973 when we started using the Naira and Kobo. And we have a whole lot of historical items right there in the museum. But we have a challenge. Our challenge is that the space that is hosting the museum is very tiny, turning the museum practically into a warehouse. And all we are asking the world to do is come out, reach out, and be of help to us, not just us as CRIM, but us as Nigeria, because this is the Nigerian Museum of History. This is one place you walk in and you get almost every item you need on Nigerian history. We are appealing for a bigger space, a building, and we're saying, come and see us and see what we're doing. Thank you so very much, and God bless us.
So I managed to visit Dr. Raphael James in his office, in his museum and library last year. And as Y.Y.C.I International, we awarded him a certificate of the great works he's doing in the society. So he's from Abia, married from Ogun State, and lives in Lagos. He's the founder and director general of CRIM, Center for Research, Information, and Media Development. CRIM is a center that manages information, media, and political research, biographers, and autography, writing, documentation, exhibition, and script editing. A non-political, non-governmental, non-profit making, but standard research developmental institute. He runs a free public library since 2004 in Lagos. The library has over 60,000 publications. It is a free public library since 2004 in Lagos. The library has over 60,000 members of the network of books club and reading culture promoters in Nigeria. His library has played host to over 400 authors in Nigeria since its establishment. He also runs the CRIM Skills Acquisition Center for Women, and he has trained a total of 16,911 women free of charge in different vocations. He's also a historic and educative tourist in Nigeria, and he has visited 33 out of 36 states of Nigeria, documented over 610 tourist sites. He has also visited several East and West African countries during his tour. He's a publisher of 2 magazines, The African Dame and The National Biographer magazine. He has written 56 manuscripts and published only 24 books. He is the founder of the richest private museum of Nigeria history, with over 48,000 photos and many artifacts and memorabilia. The museum is a partner with the Arab Culture and Art Network, ICANN. The museum also partners with Gopher Institute Nigeria project. His museum participated in the National Festival of Art and Culture, NAFES, 35th edition held in Lagos. He has donated 70,000 books by end of November 2024 across the nation since 2008, when he started his books donation to help bring back the reading culture. He also donates to orphanages and gives free motivational speeches to students. He has had the privilege to have met with and interviewed 7 world presidents, and in all, he has interaction with families of 14 African presidents and head of states. He has received a total of 289 awards for his commendable works to humanity. Winners of the Global Justice World Nobel Peace Prize Award from India is listed in the Nigerian Book of Record, listed in the New Telegraph newspaper of January 2021 as Nigerian top historian and record keeper according to Nigeria's 7 Wonders. He was also listed among the 5 enterprising Africans for the last quarter of 2016, and many more. He received the United States of America-based the Niger Standard Newspaper Award as Africa's Most Outstanding History Preservation Awards. He received appreciation and commendation letters, including October 4, 2007, Lagos State Government Education District Appreciation Letter for the development of education in the district. As the president of the anti-smoker in 1989, he campaigned for the inclusion of the warning of the package of cigarettes in Nigeria. He is a researcher. He has unraveled so much from the amalgamation of Nigerian story, the Aba women's riot, the spot where General Agusi Ironsi and Adekunle Fajuyi were killed. The spot and the Nigerian flag was first hosted, the designer of the Nigerian coat of arms, and many more. So, without wasting much of your time, let me welcome Dr. Raphael James to share with us this morning.
Wow. I was wondering if those CVs and profiles were part of mine or somebody else. Good morning, Professor Lucas, and good morning to all the members of the Transformational Leadership Conference today. I won't be doing so much of a talk, but I just want to share a particular story of what happened to me while in office in my country in Nigeria. And for me, this is a way of resolving and managing conflict in an office situation. Some years back, I'm sorry I may not be mentioning direct names, just to protect those who are involved. Some years back, my boss got a query from the head of state of Nigeria, and the query asked that my boss should reply under 24 hours. My boss looked at the query and passed it over to me, and he said to me, James, what do? I don't want to get into a problem with the head of state. And I said to him, sir, you have to reply this query. He said, I'm not going to reply it. And what he did next was that he traveled from Abuja, where we were, to Lagos. And after about 4 or 5 hours, he left the hotel. The security personnel visited the hotel and they came to our hotel room because we were using our hotel room as an office then. And they asked me, where is your boss? I told them he had traveled down to Lagos, and they said there was a query from the head of state. Did he see it? Did they receive it? I had to think of how to manage that particular conflict because I saw a much more bigger conflict coming up. So I told them, I said, no, he didn't see it. He has already left for Lagos before the letter arrived. And they said to me, look for how to pass this letter across to him. And those days, we didn't have the mobile handsets that we have today. So, and email, communication by email wasn't that rampant. It was a common thing. So there was no way to reach him again. So what I did was later in the night, I put a call across to him on the telephone landline then. And I told him, I said, well, we had visitors from the presidency and they had come that you should reply the query. And he said, don't bother, I'm coming back to Abuja the next day and we'll go and see the head of state. So the next day he arrived quite well. And we went to see the president, the head of state, well, the president, yes. We couldn't have access to him. They said we should come back by 12 midnight because he was busy for the day. So by 12 midnight, we went back. And now this is the story I want to tell now. This is the angle I want you to pay attention to. When we got there and we were standing in the presence of the head of state, me, him, that's my boss, and the head of state. And the head of state asked him, I sent a query to you and I asked you to reply under 24 hours. Why did you not reply? Now, what he did stunned everybody, stunned me and even the head of state. He turned and he gave me a slap. And this was a slap I was not expecting. It's not like a movie slap. So the shock was too much for me. And he told the head of state, he said, it was his fault. He never told me there was a query sent from your office. And because the slap shock was too much for the head of state to also bear, he couldn't say anything. He just said, go and reply the query. And he went, got a sheet of paper, replied the query, and we left. We were going back to our hotel. So in the vehicle, I didn't talk to him. He didn't talk to me because I was angry. Why did you have to slap me? Now, I asked myself when I got the slap, why didn't I just open up? I mean, that was the only option that was coming to my mind. Open up and tell the head of state, he is lying. He got the letter. But I thought of the implications of what will follow next. So by the time we got to the hotel, we were still inside the car. He turned to me and he said, Raphael, I am sorry, I have to slap you. You see, if I don't slap you, they will sack me. If they sack me, they will sack you. So these are the things we have to consider when we're looking about managing conflicts. A lot of things are involved. We have to be patient. In every situation, in fact, for every peace, there must be war to bring about peace. But your ability to have that patience, your ability to endure, your ability to have that understanding spirit and reason ahead. For all the wars we've had in the world, for all the wars we've had in the world, including the First and the Second World War, if we had been very understanding and we come together and we sit on a round table and discuss it, we probably would have stopped those wars from starting. But the truth of the matter is that at the end of the day, after all the killings and everything done, we always come back to sit on the same round table to start resolving it. So why don't we resolve it before it starts? It is high time we should start playing down on our egos. Yes, we are all big men, we are all strong, we can do and undo, but it's high time we stop playing on it and we start believing that living in peace is much more favorable and we make the world a better place than living in war. War have not achieved anything. The only thing war have achieved so far is personal, in quote, personal achievement of some very selfish set of people. So this is one lesson I learned from an action that I took. Until date, I use it in most times. So before I do anything, I try to reason, what are the consequences of what I'm going to do? The action I'm going to take, what is the consequences that is involved in it? And it has helped me a whole lot. And it's the same thing I've been preaching to my children. and to my staff at Creams, and to friends of Creams. Let us see and do that which will give us peace of mind, not just at that particular moment, but after that moment. When we get to our respective houses and we are on the bed trying to sleep, let us not do that one thing that will make us to have sleepless nights when we could have resolved it by saying simple words like, I am sorry. Thank you very much. Now, interestingly, these are very easy words, but it turned out to be somehow very difficult words or sentences for people to make. And that is what have affected most homes. The husbands feel so uncomfortable to say, I am sorry to the wife. The wife feels so uncomfortable to say, I am sorry to the husband. The wife does something, even if it is very little. The husband expects, the wife expects to hear something like, oh, my darling, thank you. But the thank you doesn't come. And she feels bad. She feels not appreciated. And if only we could use those words, those sentences, thank you, I am sorry, we can actually make the world a much more better place. Thank you so very much.
Amazing, because the same statement you just made, one of our great king yesterday taught us as well on that statement of I am sorry. So I think it's a great lesson on its own that we need to keep saying to people, we are sorry. And that is a sign of humility. That's a sign of humbling ourselves. That's a sign of accepting and taking responsibility of our actions sometimes. And that also quench even the hardship, quench the aggregation, quench the frustration when we quickly move in to say, I'm sorry. So it's a powerful word. And you've reminded us again, Dr. Raphael, today. Yesterday, King Emmanuel Ovuru taught us and reminded us, and same thing today. So I think the best thing is to say, I am sorry. It creates freedom of mindset. It creates freedom of movement, expression. It makes it to feel relaxed. It makes you to feel free from your mind and also have a peaceful heart. When you say, I'm sorry, you stop what's supposed to have, escalate. It stop it right there when you say, I'm sorry. So thank you so much for sharing with us. I think our King Sophia is raising hand. You have a questions for Dr. Raphael? Because you are raising your hand. Imperial Royal Majesty King, you are raising your hand. Or maybe you just want to, you have a question or comment because your hand is being raised.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I just wanted to find out by the speaker actually on was that actually a physical slap or just a type of expression?
It was a physical slap. And like I said,
Real one.
it was not Nollywood or Hollywood slap. A real slap landed on my face when I wasn't expecting it.
That's amazing. Imagine. Oh, we thank God. Yes, you gain understand, even though it's painful to be slapped. But you saved the job of your boss.
Exactly.
I hope he'll be able to do more than just saying I'm sorry. I hope he promoted you.
Well, that's a story for another day. In the long story, I wouldn't want to share those ones here. But then life goes on.
Oh yes.
The most wonderful thing was that at least we were happy at that moment in time.
Okay.
Though we at the end of the day we agreed to disagree, and I had to walk out of the organization.
Okay. That's amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. At least we can laugh. Both of all of us can laugh over it now. It's not easy that time. Thank you so much. Okay,
So
so
so so you were turning the other cheek, so you were
Well,
just turning the other cheek.
at that point in time, I couldn't turn the other cheek because
you're on
that
the
one
floor.
slap over the two cheeks.
Hmm. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. I know where Imperial Royal Majesty is coming from. I think it's bringing you to the what was said in the Bible, that when you are being slapped in one cheek, you turn the other cheek. But that kind of slapping is not common. It's not common and it's not intentional. It's just to quench the that atmosphere, just to reduce the tension at that very atmosphere. And I mean, thank God for better understanding in the end, because that is very, very important. He didn't really want to do it, but he did it for a purpose. And at the end of it all, immediately you move away from that atmosphere. He was able to accept it and also to apologize, which is very, very important. Yes, it can be intentional. I mean, it might not be intentional sometimes. It could be even be mistakes, because sometimes we step on other people's toes. Sometimes we say some things that can hurt other people, So it's very, very important that we go in that area. And I think I will also use this moment as well to say I'm sorry, Dr. Stephen Cameron. he, he understands and he knows what I'm saying. I'm really sorry. Okay, let's move on.